I have felt so many bumps and blockage and so much wanting change and allowing for my vibration to be there. And I'm a professional violinist, and I just 3 weeks ago had an accident. Now I can't play for a while until I heal. But I know there's a real reason for that happening. And
want to know what it is?
I want to know. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, never mind. What it is, as you first began expressing here, the words that we wanted to give you were, what you're really looking for is a way to project your thoughts that gives you a sense of relief. The words that you offered, can you remember what they were as you first sat down?
That I've been feeling blocked.
And the sensation when you feel blocked is, I need to figure out what action to take. And we want you to understand that it isn't about action, it's about thought. But most everybody who sits here, who wants to talk about topics that are important to them, wants to know what to do. What should I take this job? Should I go with this person? Should I say yes to this situation? And we want you to understand that it isn't about action, not at first. It's about unblocking it with thought, as you just heard us demonstrating here. So what's happened to you is you have been wanting to achieve a higher level of proficiency just by working harder, more hours, more time with your instrument, and not making any headway. And so you have created this situation to give you an opportunity to not be able to do anything at all, so that you can discover the thrill of making the headway vibrationally. So practice in your mind, not with your body. Enjoy the improvement. In other words, take some piece of music and feel yourself focused upon it. Jerry and Esther were walking at the Malibu campground the other day, and there was a young woman sitting on a picnic table at the mouth of a trail that they were going to descend down into a canyon, and she was reading music and using imaginary drumsticks on her knees. It was great fun to watch her, because it was so real to her that it looked real to Jerry and Esther. Jerry said it shocked him to get close enough to realize she didn't have any drumsticks, because everything about her demeanor, everything about her energy, everything about her movement implied that she had a full set of drums there, and she was just sitting there in her imagination. And we're wanting you to realize that you can have the most powerful practice sessions in your mind, more powerful than with your instrument. We recommend both, but in this case, that's why it's happened, so that you can discover the power of visualization. And it is really about everything that we've been talking about here today. 99% of every creation is completed vibrationally before you see any evidence of it. And so people in your physical situations, you are far too action oriented. If you would become more mental, if you would become more vibrational, if you would become more visceral, if you would become more emotional, if you would care more about how you feel, and you would guide your thoughts on all subjects until they feel good, until they feel good, until they feel good, until they feel gooder, until they feel gooder, until they feel gooder and gooder and gooder and gooder and gooder, and then you take action, you would go right into a job that would pay you a lot and be really fun. Wow. You would go, in other words, practice it in your mind. That's what it is about. And you help us make this message even more clear, because person after person will sit here and we will counsel them about the direction of their thought, and then they will come back again, well, but what do you think I should do? And we know it's because you live in a very compelling world that is making lots of demands on your time and your action, and it feels to most of you like you've just got to act all the time. And we're not saying stop acting, we're saying start thinking while you're acting, or start thinking about what you're going to act on before you act on it. Think more with an ear to the ground about how that thought feels, and then watch about what happens. Make a child self-conscious about his feet and watch him start tripping over them. Make a child self-conscious about your beautiful tablecloth and your beautiful table and watch him spill his milk. In other words, you prepave all kinds of things vibrationally. When you worry about things, even if you don't speak about them, people who are a vibrational match to your worry show up in your experience. There is not a shred of evidence anywhere to the contrary, you see. So you say, oh, isn't this a wonderful thing? I've put myself in a physical position where I can't act in the dramatic way that I've been acting. And if I'm going to keep myself up to speed even with where I was, I'm going to have to start playing this instrument mentally for a while. And as you start doing that and you start feeling yourself coming into alignment, not only will your body heal amazingly quickly, but when you resume, not instantly, but within a week or two of resuming, your skill level will be higher than it was before the accident.
And one other question along that, about the thought, you were saying to activate thought, but you also earlier were saying about asking first. That was the first of asking. And what if you don't really know? I don't feel like I know what to ask. I mean,
well, you can't not ask appropriately, because when we say ask, sometimes we think that you think that what we mean by that is that you want to write one all-inclusive, really prosaic paragraph that depicts, without excluding anything that's important, everything that you could possibly want.
The perfect question.
And what we mean when we say ask is that when you stub your toe, you'd like not to do that again. When you don't have enough money, you'd like more money. When you're rude to someone, you'd like to get along better. When someone's rude to you, you'd like them not to be. You'd like people to treat each other nicer. When traffic's blocked up, you'd like it to flow. In other words, it's just the consequence of your exposure to life is causing you to launch preferences. And these preferences are accumulating in vibrational escrow, and law of attraction is causing a dovetailing, so much so that from our non-physical view, we can look at your vibrational escrow and announce to you, you have millions and millions and millions of dollars that have accrued there because of all of the opportunities that you've had to ask. You have relationships and opportunities. You have empires. You have plots of land. You have talented people on their way to assist you. In other words, your vibrational escrow is full of all of this stuff. And you're wise. We like your words when you say, but I can't see all of that clearly. And we say, that's because you contributed to it thought by thought by thought. And it is amassed in the energy of well-being that really knows who you are and what you deserve. And who you have become vibrationally is a far cry from who many of you are allowing yourself to be. You see? And by reaching for thoughts that just feel a little better, you close that gap. And as you close that gap, now you're not a far vibrational cry from who life has caused you to become. You're closer in vibrational proximity. You're closing the gap. And as you close the gap, you know people like that, don't they? Don't you? They're in the zone. Everywhere they go, good things happen to them. So irritating. The rich just get richer. It's just so wrong. That person has been well all of her life. I think she should get sick and let somebody else have a turn. It's illogical, isn't it? In other words, the universe is responding to your vibration, and your vibration is reflected to you in your mood or attitude, in your emotion. So when you say, well, I can't change that circumstance. I can't change my sister this red hot minute. I can't change this injury overnight. But I sure can pick a thought that feels better than the thought I was picking. I can pick a better thought and a better thought and a better thought. And when that becomes your orientation, then you just become so at one with your vibrational escrow that it reaches the place where almost as soon as you define it, you find it. Esther, you should have heard her. The sales girl came running to see what treasure Esther had found when Esther found the tray, because Esther had an idea about it, and she explained it to Jerry, and he agreed that it was a good idea. They went to lunch. Esther said, let's go in that shop, and there was the tray. The tray. A perfect match to the Java mahogany that is all over the coach. Here is this tortoise shell tray. It could not have been better designed if Esther had sent a designer to make it. There was the tray. In other words, it was effortless because Esther expects things to work for her. Things of that nature, especially.
It wasn't about doing.
Good. You've got it.
Okay.
Good time for lunch.
All right. Thank you.
And are you refreshed?
Yes.
Good.
Abraham, what is the meaning of life?
What is the meaning of meaning? What do you mean by meaning?
Well, I was funny because someone asked that, like I was supposed to answer that question, and I was going to say something weird like that.
Well, if you don't know the answer, you just be smart aleck like we are. The reason we mean that, what is the meaning of it? You mean, what is the purpose of life? It is joy. What is the reason for life? It is joy. What is the basis of life? It is freedom. What is the result of life? It is expansion. What is the reason that you came forth into this physical experience? You wanted more. You wanted more exposure to more opportunity to have more feelings. So the meaning of life, it sounds strange to say it, but the meaning of life is life. It's to feel life pouring through you, to feel the exhilaration of a new idea coming to fruition, to feel yourself not right on it and then work yourself until you are on it, to have a new idea occur to you and recognize that you're not a vibrational match to it, and then to deliberately become a vibrational match to it. All of that is fun, and all of that is life. And then to see manifestation happen in response to the alignment that you've achieved, and then to now have a new platform, because now that you have achieved that, your vantage point is different, and so now all of your opportunities are different, and so now your birthing of ideas is different, and now the crevasse between where you are and where you now want to be, or that which part of you has become, has changed ever so slightly, and now you have yet another opportunity to come into alignment with that. So the meaning of life and the reason for life is for the thrill of life. That would be like saying, why does someone ride the wave on their surfboard? What is the practical purpose for it? Well, we do it because we're trying to smooth out the ocean. No, that can't be right. Well, we're doing it because we're trying to teach the fish how to swim on top of the water. No, that can't be right. Why are we doing it? Well, because it gives us a sort of thrill when we do it. Life is life.